So now we have is transition from upper 4x extraction, just two upper first bicuspids with T-loop, frictionless cinch back mechanics with a TPA, and we're going to transition to an 018 finishing wire. So what we did, of course, is laced the upper 2 to 2, so I have lace on here. And what I'm going to do is, of course, I got to take all this lace off.
Yeah.
And for posterior anchorage, what we had also done is we had laced the posterior segment so that wouldn't move forward. And I would think that this side is also and there were no individual lacing or rubber bands. Now this will not come off by pulling it straight out because of course we have the cinch back here. And can you focus in on that? It's on the opposite side. What I'll do is
When you come around.
yeah, when I come around. Okay, so obviously this is cinched, as you can see right there. And what you have to do is you have to cut it just in front of the 6. And then let it go. And then take the distal of the wire out the back, and then the anterior part of the wire can actually come out. And you have to do that on both sides. Be careful not to tweak the distal end cutter when you do this, because you'll snap an upper 5 bracket, or you'll debond an upper 5 bracket. So you have to take it out the back, and only then, now, will the anterior wire come out. And this is torqued pretty good, so you have to just kind of massage it out just a little bit, and then it'll finally come out. Okay, on the lower, we had some chain just to consolidate some minimal space. Some power chain, as a matter of fact. And what you can do is you just start the chain to come off, grab it with an instrument, and then just slowly move it side to side, and it will come off. Basically just like you put it on. Now this one was not cinched back, so this one we should be able to just kind of grab and pull slightly and wiggle it and have it come off. Oh. This one's not going to come off. If you can see, it's got one tie, which I didn't see. Now, it should come off. These 1925 T-loops, excuse me, 1925 T-loops fill up the slot quite a bit, and if a person's been wearing them for a long period of time, you sometimes have to work them just a little bit to get them out. You gotta kind of wiggle them back and forth, and then they'll actually start to come out. You can't manhandle them because what will happen is the brackets will debond. And then of course now, since there's no spacing and everything's pretty much class 1, we're also going to remove the upper TPA. So you take an angled Howe plier and you have to lock it into the embrasure between usually the remaining 5 and the 6, and then actually push the back of the TPA out of the slot. So you lock it in, and then I usually take my finger and stabilize it, and then push, and it will actually bring the TPA out. Then you do the same thing on the other side. There you go. And what I just did is I took the TPA and I moved it out so that it's not locked in, and now I'll be able to grab it and wiggle just a little bit and move it out. Okay, now that it's actually been pushed out of the slot on the back and it's not locked in, what you can do, you can either grab the top right there and wiggle back and forth just a little bit as you're pulling forward, and it usually will just come right out, just like that. Or, if you're right-handed like I am, you can go to the other side to the vertical leg, wiggle, stabilize a little bit, and it comes right out. Okay, now what we've done is we've pre-sized the finishing wire, in this case of course an 018 finishing wire, and we've pre-sized it so that it's not too long in the back, and especially in this case where we've extracted upper 4s, the arch size is going to be a little bit smaller. So I'm going to put the 018 wire in, and as you can see, the upper left one has detorqued just a little bit, so we're going to start with an out bend there, and the upper left 2 is up just a little bit, so we're going to start with a down bend there. And we're going to do this with intraoral finishing pliers. So in this particular case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stabilize the arch wire with one gray elastic on the upper right one. That'll stabilize it for me. And then I'm going to take the intraoral finishing plier, in this case just 1/2 millimeter, and I'm going to make a down bend. Actually, I'm going to start with the upper left one. I'm going to make an out bend, 1/2 out, with the intraoral finishing plier. I'm going to put it to place like this. Now, I don't have all of the wire tied into the slot. This is going to give me a little bit of play here, so I'm not going to put any pressure on the brackets at all in order to make this out bend. But I put it onto the wire just about here, and I give it one squeeze, and then I turn it over like this, and I go to the other side of the wire, stabilize it with my fingers, and give it one squeeze, and I'm done. To move the wire over just a little bit, and as you can see, we have an out bend in the upper left one that's going to move that incisal edge more to the buckle. And then at the same time, what I'm going to do is down 1/2, upper left 2. So again, I'm going to put it right between the teeth. I'm going to squeeze down. I'm going to turn it over, confirm that I have a down bend by looking at the other end. Stabilize the wire again, give it one squeeze, and now I should have a down bend. Already bent 90 degrees. Okay, the assistant's given me a ligature tie, and it's already bent at the 90 degrees, just like we have always talked about in class.